Hello everyone. Jatinder ji, welcome back. Please let us know what topic you want to talk in this video.
Vidhanji, thanks and hello viewers. I will be talking about appendicitis and obviously kidney stones also, but mainly it is about appendicitis. So when we have to see uh, uh, how the appendicitis happened or something in a chart, so it has to be like it would be normally because you have to see where the organ is in the body. Obviously you have to know the anatomy. So it's in the lower right side of abdomen, in the lower right side, and it is I would say lower abdomen area. It covers the lower abdomen area, and it also it covers the stomach area also because it's in the stomach. So normally the sixth organ, the sixth house or the sixth house of the zodiac, and the ruling planet Mercury, they represent the because the sixth is a natural house of diseases here. So they represent part almost entire stomach, the stomach area, the bowels and intestines and everything. Though the rulership of this is given to Jupiter as a planet. So Jupiter as a planet is responsible for the liver, pancreas, and all the internal organs present there. The filtration part is given signified to Venus. The kidneys and the filtering of toxins from the assimilated food and then excreting it out is partially a function of Venus and Saturn also, because Saturn is a natural karaka of eighth house, or eighth house represents the external external organs or external organs. So here talking about this, and the houses that are important are 6th, 7th and 8th. The lords that are important, the planets important here would be Jupiter, because it covers the most vital organs inside the stomach. Then Jupiter, Venus because it's related to filtration and kidneys and everything. And Saturn, since Saturn it is a vestigial organ. This appendicitis is a vestigial organ, and Saturn is about blockage also. So the Saturn here would be like creating some blockage. So what to look for in this chart would be mostly there would be an excess of Aries Libra, and that would be afflicted in the chart. People who are normally have this appendicitis, it would be, or and there would be the link of planets Saturn, Venus, Jupiter and Mercury normally. So Mercury, the link of Mercury may not be that evident in charts of the, but Jupiter, since it covers the stomach area, specifically liver, pancreas, though some authors assign this to the pancreatic function. A part of pancreatic function is assigned to Venus also, but we will make it very simple. Venus would be for kidneys here, and ureter, basically the urinary system here. That would, because obviously it's about it owns the sign Libra. And Libra is about the control. Libra is about control, and it controls the water in our body. Otherwise, as per the gravitational pull, whatever water we have in the amount of water we have or the liquids in our body, they would be drained towards by the gravitational pull of earth. It can be, so it acts as a control. It only releases what is required. So the seventh sign, Libra is about releasing only that amount, or releasing about the only releasing only those things that are not required, and retaining the other. So it is like a valve. It works like a valve. The sign Libra. So the importance here would be, so Venus is very important here. Saturn, because it is about blockage, it is about vestigial parts, it's about creating a problem. Normally, Saturn, Mars is about inflammation. So this would also be quite important in this, because when it begins with a blockage in this appendicitis, the problem occurs when a part of stool gets stuck in, or any foreign body or something like that, a part of stool or a foreign body gets stuck in this appendicitis tube, a vestigial organ. So then there is an inflammation. All inflammation in the body happens due to the Mars. So the blockage is due to Saturn. So the inflammation here would be by the Mars, and the location is somewhat in the right side, lower abdomen, right side. So that represents the area that belongs to 6th and 7th house. So in all, I'll just share a chart here to get a better view of it. Now, so what to look for is a link between Saturn and Venus, Aries Libra axis that is afflicted, and the other significant planets are Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, and Venus. So there is likely, I've explained, I think, it a bit, so it would be a bit clear. I would just share one chart, so people, the viewers can see for themselves and apply how this works out in this chart. So I'm just sharing the screen now. Is it there?
Correct. Yes, we can see it.
Hanji?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
It's there?
Yes, yes.
So see, I just explain it here a bit because it's somewhat complex. You see, the ascendant is Sagittarius, and we find Saturn in the ascendant, and it is aspecting its own house and planet Venus. We talked about Venus. So Saturn is afflicting Venus, and it is also aspecting the 7th house here. 7th. We talked about 7th. So obviously it is there is a problem in this area, and the axis 1-7, Aries and Libra. You see, it is afflicted, and it is in the grip of Rahu Ketu axis. Now Moon is also about the urinary function and all this. It also governs the urinary function. So we see Moon is also afflicted here. Jupiter in the 6th house. Jupiter in the 6th house. So you see the things to look for in this chart. The person suffered from appendicitis. One is Saturn making a link with the Venus. Then there is a Mars is into the sign of your Saturn, and it is aspecting its own house, the 5th house, and then Jupiter sits in the 6th house. So from 5th to 7th, all houses here, the 5th house, the upper stomach, The sixth house, the internal organs, the the digestive parts and all this. And the seventh is the lower abdomen. We have affliction to almost all of them. See, Mars and Mars aspects the fifth house, and what's more, it is in Rahu Ketu axis. Then Saturn aspects Venus, the significator of kidneys and all this. So obviously, and the seventh house also. So here the axis is also 1-7, the Libra. Apart from it, Jupiter is in the sixth house. Whenever Jupiter sits in the sixth house, it's known, because it's a benefic in sixth. It is known to expand the person would specifically would be susceptible to the stomach problems. So it brings in a kind of Saturn, and even Saturn here also is not very good, because they have contradictory signification. Saturn is about contraction. Saturn is about blockage. Jupiter is about expanding. So Jupiter is also about gas, because it's a gaseous planet and all this. So it's all about expanding. It's like so Jupiter presence of a benefic in sixth house, it's never a welcome sign, because it represents almost all the stomach, all the internal major stomach organs in the stomach. They are kind of, so the person would obviously have the susceptibility of a stomach area. So in this chart we have this that first the ascendant is tenanted by Saturn 1. Then we have Mars aspecting the fifth house, and the fifth 11 axis, that is the fifth, from the fifth and 11th axis, is Libra Aries, and it is afflicted by Rahu Ketu axis. Then we have Saturn making a connection with the Venus also. So Jupiter in the sixth is also making a connection with the Mars and Mercury. So Mars and Mercury in the second house. So in all the significations involved here, like the sixth house lord, the natural sixth house lord Mercury is involved here. Then the sixth house lord Venus, it's under the aspect of Saturn, the second and third lord here. And then we have the fifth house under Rahu, fifth and 11 axis under the Rahu Ketu axis. Apart from it, we have the connection of Jupiter with Mars and Mercury also. So particularly in this chart, we see the affliction to the stomach area, means susceptibility to the stomach area. So this person suffers from appendicitis. Though it's a bit complex, but still it's very easy to see the susceptibility of this person would be the stomach area, mainly the stomach area. And the first hint that is given in this chart is Jupiter in the sixth, a benefic here and a Saturn here. It is said that the malefic in sixth, it promotes health, they say. It's but here I would say Mars is the only planet that would promote health here. That's by practical experience. Saturn here would obviously mean health problems, lingering health problems related to stomach area. Rahu also would bring the digestion problems here. Ketu is also not very welcome here. So Ketu is about surgery, procedures, and all this, because it's a planet like Mars only. So the first hint is given by Jupiter being in the sixth house, and Uh, then there are other factors also, like Saturn's aspect on Venus, and then we have even the sign Libra under in Rahu Ketu axis. So including Moon also. So we have a Moon Rahu also there in the axis. So there are similar charts like this. So they can be shared once people start to apply their mind on this, or viewers start to apply their mind on this. So it's quite easy to see in this chart how why the person, what the susceptibility of the person would likely be. And it's like the fifth, sixth, and seventh houses, and they are mainly afflicted. Even we have the eighth lord working in the fifth house. That because since this involves the stomach area, so it the right from the upper stomach, that is the fifth house. Sixth house is the internal digestive organs. Seventh is about your filtration, and seventh is about your kidneys, and sixth, those I would say ki some authors like they say they represent that sixth house represents the kidneys. So let's take both sixth and seventh, no problem in that. So the kidneys can also be seen from sixth and seventh, though the significator, the planet significator, would always be Venus only. So this is about appendicitis, though it went on quite lengthy. This was a bit lengthy here.
Yes, so a wonderful example. I think you have given us another very beautiful gem on this medical astrology. So I know the subject is very vast, and as you said, you are going to cover many.
So sometimes, Vidhanji, sometimes it's a bit complex and contradictory also at a times. So what needs to be seen is how the susceptibility is. See, in most of the cases, you will find this 1/7 axis afflicted.
Okay.
And you will find a problem in the sixth house, a planet, sixth house, and the sixth lord or the sixth house. So here the sixth lord is Venus. So sixth lord is afflicted by what? Sixth lord is under aspect from what? It is aspect from Saturn. Now Saturn is what? It will create a blockage. Maybe the stones also. Okay. So it's like stones also. Kidney stone. In kidney stones also you will find this kind of a combination. It's very similar to kidney stones. So it created now. In this case, it was appendicitis also, appendicitis only. So Saturn is making a connection with the planet about the chronic diseases. A planet is about the acute chronic problems. Acute is Mars. Now it is making a connection with the Venus. Now we also see Mars making a connection with the fifth house. So obviously it is creating some inflammation in the area. Yes.
And probably also indicating surgery.
And it also indicates a surgery because it needs to be removed. Because whenever that appendicitis, there is an inflammation in the planet, in that pipe, it needs to be removed. Otherwise it bursts open, and the contents are the toxicity from it spreads into the stomach, and then the situation becomes quite critical. Then you have to open the whole stomach to kind of flush it out. So this is all about appendicitis. So when you apply your mind, it is very easy. Otherwise sometimes you do find it very confusing also, but since you apply it, you will see it is very easy to kind of arrive at something. So at least the first step for the viewers, the first step would be to assigning a susceptibility in a particular area of the body. So assigning a susceptibility is very simple here. The fifth, sixth, and seventh. See, the fifth lord, sixth lord, seventh lord, uh, they uh, they have something to something to say about this in this chart. The fifth lord is in the second house, the sixth lord is in the third house, and the seventh lord Mercury is with the fifth lord. Now, uh, though Mars is exalted here in this chart, and it is aspecting the fifth house, but it is here as regards this because it's creating some inflammation in the fifth house, or a susceptibility to surgery. Moreover, we have this Ketu in the 11th house. So if we consider only the seventh aspect of Ketu, leaving aside other things also, if we since it is directly in opposition to the fifth house, so this also creates a kind of creates the susceptibility to surgery also, because it's like Mars only. So from two angles, from Mars and from Ketu, we see a surgery in this case. So when you apply the mind, you continue seeing the various problems in this chart related to it, related to a particular problem related to stomach area. So I think we should conclude here.
Yes.
I think this one was a bit lengthy, around 20 minutes or more.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir. I think it's a very wonderful technique which you have shared. I'm sure our readers, our audience will definitely test it and post the feedback in the comment section.
And Vidhanji, just to, I would hear, we are starting a medical astrology course soon, and uh, this course promises to simplify things in the medical astrology, how to point diseases, how to look for the combination of susceptibility, how, and with various examples. So it covers lots and lots of examples and to explain the thing, a particular thing. um, so I would advise, I would rather recommend this course for people who or the viewers who are interested to know more about medical astrology. This is likely to be a very wonderful course, and it promises uh, a lot of medical research, a lot of research into medical astrology and the various combinations, how they work out in different charts, and how to find the susceptibility in various charts for various diseases. Thank you, Vidhanji.
Thank
Thanks.
you so much.
Click on the subscribe button, especially the bell on the right side. Otherwise, you will miss the latest videos.
you.